Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elaine and you can call me Ellie. Today I'm going to do my wrap up of this month, April. I read I think like 10 or 12 books in April and I'm really happy about that because I did have some issues in the past years trying to read like a lot, and I ended up not enjoying what I was reading, so I have decided to read things and books that I'm going to enjoy. But well, let's begin. So this month I read El Amor en los Tiempos de Colera, or Loving the Time of Colera. I did a whole book, or actually I talk about that book in one of my weekly blogs, and I didn't like that book at all. It was really complicated. I liked the writing, but I didn't actually enjoy the story. It had so many issues, socially speaking, and the main characters, I don't know, it wasn't for me and it really affected me. So yeah, I also read A Room with a View, and that book is a really short book. You can read it like in a day, or actually like hours. If you decide to sit down and read it, you can read it in like one sitting, and I really enjoyed that book. It was not complicated at all. The story was really fluid. I think that you couldn't get bored with that book. The author described Italy's places really well, and I don't know, I really enjoyed that book. This month was the first month that I remember wanting to DNF a book, and that book was Dangerous Alliances. I did not like that book at all. I didn't enjoy it. I don't want to read it again. I don't know, I feel like I should give it another try, but no, I didn't DNF the book. I ended up reading the book, but it was such hard work to actually read it until the end. I kept wanting to throw the book away and not read it at all. Ugh, it was awful. I also read Finding Love at Hedgehog Hollow, and that book is, I think that I said that in one of the weekly blogs. That book is like a sunny afternoon in the garden drinking lemonade, and if I feel that I will read it again, I will reread that book again. It is such a clean, soft story, and also, at least for me, it speaks to me on the way that the main character, the girl, the relationship that she had with the mom. I also read Dowry of Blood, and this is one of my new favorite books. It is the story of Constanta, and Constanta is a peasant girl, and she's supposed to be one of Dracula's brides. And if you like vampires, and if you like Dracula, if you like gothic novels, you should read it. It is written like a letter or a diary, not like a whole book with chapters, and that is one of, I think that the way that it is written, it helps you feel more close to the characters. So yeah, this is the book. I read / listened to The Elusive Wife. The Elusive Wife, I really liked this story, but it wasn't that great of a book. It's kind of like a historical romance book that you can read like in an afternoon. I didn't fall in love with the main character, with the love interest, the man, because he was a little bit of a toxic person in the beginning, and I don't know, I thought that it was going to be different, but the plot and the story, it's really nice and I really liked it. I just feel like the characters didn't necessarily give a lot to the story. I also listened to What the Hex. That is a really funny book if you want to read about witches, Latino witches especially, and like a fun read for like 2 to 3 hours. I think the other book is like 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it's really fun to listen to. I also listened to / read the Plus One Act, and it's about this girl who she is not lucky in love, and she decides to like have this friend who is supposed to be this really handsome guy, and she decides to have that friend that will go with her to every single festivity or like wedding, that kind of stuff that she has to go to in the summer, and he's going to do the same with her. So they become friends, and obviously they're going to fall in love, but it is a really clean romance. There is nothing sexual about that book. It's really nice, it's really clean, it's like a cute romance book, and I think that everyone should read it. This month I decided to read The Love Hypothesis, and I think that it was one of the best decisions that I could have ever made. This book is so lovely, and even though the not safe for work scenes are really explicit, I didn't mind it. I liked the story, I loved the characters except for Tom. I hate him, but everything else was so good. I feel like this one and Dowry of Blood, they're my new favorites. I still have one more that it was my favorite of this month, and I think that this one could be in the 2022 books that are going to be my favorite, but I may change my mind towards the end of the year. And I don't know, I think this one was released on 2020, back in 2021, but I read it this year, so that's why I'm saying 2022 favorite books. I also listened to / read just a little bit Follow My Lead. Follow My Lead is this book about a girl who is really smart, and she has written so many articles. Her dad dies, and she now has to prove that she actually wrote those articles that were sent to a men's club. The thing is that the men in the men's club, the members, don't actually believe her that she wrote the articles, because a girl is not supposed to be that smart. Now has to go to another country to get some letters that are going to prove that she's smart enough to know that those letters will prove that a painting is not from a specific painter but another painter and another time. A whole ordeal. And there is someone who is the man, the love interest, that is going to help her. I didn't actually care about his character. I didn't like him at all. And also there is a cousin. She has a cousin that is in love with her, and she has told him that if she can prove that she's the one that wrote the articles, she doesn't need to marry him. It is fun in the beginning. The whole idea, the whole plot, I guess, is really interesting, but halfway into the book it becomes so boring, and I feel like the author was just trying to make it longer without the need of doing so. I don't know, I didn't necessarily enjoy that book. I wouldn't recommend it because it was boring for me. But if you like historical fiction, historical romance, if you like kind of maybe academia setting books, if you like I would say friends to lovers kind of book with, I don't know, you have to marry if something happens to a person that you don't want to marry. If you like those kind of things, yes, please do read Follow My Lead. Okay, the last book that I read, and I basically read it 2 days before the month was over, is The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And this book just like The Love Hypothesis or Dowry of Blood, is my favorite of this month. The story in this book, first of all, I didn't think that I would love this book as much as I do, or as I did. I didn't expect it. I wasn't going to even read this book or get this book, and I don't know how. I feel so bad now. I did a whole video review about that book, so if you wanna listen to that video or get more information about my review on the book, you can actually get it. I think I'm gonna put the cards here or here. I don't know what is going to appear, but in some place. But yeah, I would give it, I think that of all of the books that I read, these three, they are magnificent and people need to read it as soon as possible. They are beautiful, they're amazing, and I think that this month was more for like romances and vampires. So yeah guys, that was everything for my wrap up of this month, April's wrap up. I really enjoyed reading all those books, and I'm really happy about having 3 favorite books. That has never happened to me before. I felt like before, when I read the books, I used to have like 1, maybe 2 books that I would really like, especially when I read if I read like a classic in a month. But 3 books, that is so good. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm really happy. See you soon for my TBR, which I'm going to film like in a little while. I need to make space in my camera. So yeah, see you in a little while.